See, we don't mind waiting on our Lord, you know? Nope. Because if you know what it's like to be living for more than 2,000 years, then you know to wait for a time, and a time ain't that long, right? And when you know where you're supposed to be to fulfill your destiny and do that which is right in the sight of the Most High, then you know you don't mind waiting. And so it's only right for me right now to put myself out there on this world wide web, you know, because I'm sure there are many others like me, many others like myself who, you know, this is not your first time coming to this earth, this planet ET key, you know, to this blue rock, this green planet, Tiamat, so to speak. And so what I'm saying is, to mention the name Malachi York. I don't really care what nobody thinks. I don't really care what nobody wants to say. If it's negative, then look, I don't care. Because before I knew what Malachi York looked like, his voice was always inside my head. From far back as I was a child, I remember 5 years old, hearing that voice inside my head, communicating with me telepathically. So I know I am a son of Malachi, to the point where I was brought to my memory, in which I remember being here 2,000 years ago with the Messiah as one of his disciples. And after having listened to the videos of Malachi York, after having bear witness to what they did to the land Tamari, you know, in Edenton, Georgia, after having known for a fact inside my genes, inside my genetics, inside my memory that coming to the United States of America, this is the land where I'll fulfill the rest of my destiny. And now I'm here right now. Yes, I am here in America, Erica, Inca. And after having seen a few others before me who know their name shine the green light, it's only right for me to come forward with the truth and bear witness unto Malachi York. Yeah, bear witness unto Dr. Malachi York. Because I have no bias in me. Because if it wasn't for the voice of Dr. Malachi York inside my head at the age of 5, I wouldn't even be awakened to the point where I have a portion of my memory being restored. To the point where I can tell you of a fact that those of you who are watching this video right now, I walked this earth 2,000 years ago with the Messiah. And that's a fact. And that's truth. But for some reason, it was always bugging my brain, like messing with my memory, like, yo, I can't seem to remember. How comes I never met Malachi in that life? And I'm like, yo, it's so sad to not having a memory of never having met him in that life. However, it all makes sense, like, it all makes sense when you think about the reality of it. And I have to be so grateful right now, to the point where I know it's a pleasure and it's a joy to have been born in these times, to bear witness to the Lamb. Peace in the Lamb is truly wonderful. And so I'm saying for every one of you who have memories of you being here 2,000 years ago as one of the Messiah disciples, and it's time for you to rise. Bring yourself forward right now. We should no longer be hiding, That makes no sense. We hide and try to act like the Master didn't sacrifice his time and his life for us. And now it's up to us to come forth as sons of Malachi and bear witness, because I'm not fearful for my life. I speak of Malachi. Yeah, I speak of Dr. Malachi York, because before I saw his face on YouTube, I heard his voice inside my head. And I'm sure that many of you have bear witness to Dr. Malachi York, to know that he's not just a man, And we have seen the lies that they told. And so in moving forward, I will no longer be living in the light of the shadows to hide myself in the truth of who it is that I am, and the truth of who Dr. Malachi York is, was, and forever will be. To the point where I sat with the Master for years while he taught me telepathically. And yes, Dr. Malachi York taught me the Nawapic language, like all the symbols, from my mind telepathically. And all I had to do was write. And I had no idea that this was the Nawapic language. The only thing I knew is I went home, I told my mom that, hey, I managed to create a language that cannot be spoken, it can only be written. And to my surprise, I came across the Nawapic alphabet, and I was able to match more than 90% of all the Nawapic letters or alphabet, so to speak, having never read, having no knowledge that there exists a language called Nawapic or Nuwabian. But yet I received those symbols telepathically from the Master, and I was able to match them with the language. And that in itself is the revelation of who Dr. Malachi York is, and that in itself is the revelation of who I am and how I am connected to Malachi York for the bigger picture of this all. And so I'm standing right here letting you all know, those of you who are listening to this, if you've never heard about Malachi York, then now is the time for you to go ahead and check him out on YouTube. I've never read any of his books in completion, but yet the love I have for Malachi York is just off the chains, because this is divine. This is divine. And no doubt we are living in sacred time, and these days are sacred to me, by virtue of having a portion of my memory restored to where I can sufficiently say I have memories of 3 of my past lives. From when we reigned in ancient Egypt, they say, in the pantheons of the god. Yes, I wore a mask in those days in the dynasty era. In 2,000 years ago, I was one of Jesus's disciples. So how can this be a coincidence that I am here right now, 2025, bearing witness to the Lamb and Dr. Malachi York? To the book of Revelation, where it said, I'll send my angel with a message before the return of Jesus. So I'm saying I have received the message in Malachi that is sufficient enough for my soul, and it can be sufficient enough for your soul if you just do your research in who Malachi York is. And after this here shortly, I will be releasing some subject matter of some of the topics that I was taught telepathically by the master. You can call them books, you can call them letters, but these were divinely inspired. Some say I took the time out to be rewriting the Bible. I don't know. However, here shortly now, I will be elaborating on these subject matters, and it will be totally up to you to, when you get the information, you do whatever you want to do with it, because I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to let my voice be heard, and I'm here to let you all know that turn to Malachi, Dr. Malachi York. That's where it's at, yo. So after 2,000 years, I'm back. You can say reincarnation, you can say reincarnated, you can say regeneration, however you want to put it. 2,000 years ago, I walked this earth with the Messiah as one of his disciples. And I'm here right now bearing witness to the voice of the Lamb, Malachi York. And whatever they do unto Dr. York, I'm sure they'll do unto me. And I'm sure they'll do the same unto all of us who bear witness unto the truth. Because this world hate the truth. And I am truth. And that's what I'm here to also put out, the truth to so many things that they wrote in the Bible that's not so, because they never was ever counting on the fact that we would return. Just like our master returned to do what? Set the record straight. Yeah, for a fact. And that's my job here, to help set the record straight. So many of you who are listening to my voice right now, it's up to you It's up to us to stand up. First, for yourself. For the truth. And for Dr. York. Because we are all sons of Malachi. As it was said 2,000 years ago, that the world hate me, and it will hate you also, because it hate truth. Never let it be said that you are found to be sons of lies, but remember that you are indeed sons of truth, sons of Malachi, sons of the Lamb. And peace in the Lamb is truly wonderful. We ain't gotta make it fancy. We just gotta make it work. How can you not see? How can you not see? How can you look at this and not see how authentic this is? How can you not see that these are sacred days, sacred time? So stay tuned. Stay tuned, because no more hiding in the shadows, you know. We gotta set the record straight. Too many of us came across the teachings of Dr. York, and it's like none of us can be found, yo. What's happening? He already told you he don't need the bitchin' men. So get up, stand up, rise. 19.